we have a presenter and a workshop presenter here.
Yeah.
And
We have Britney Texeira from Maui. Come on stage.
and I gotta say, she comes highly recommended by me, and I think, and by Lois, and actually Debbie. We took a class with her, did this exactly what you're doing here today with her, and we just loved it so much. Like, she is just such an amazing woman. She's going to really impart the spirit of Hawaii to everyone, especially those of you who not familiar with the takule, all of that beautiful lei making work. But, you know, what was really interesting when we were there is it was my first time making lei, and she told us to relax and, you know, kind of get filled with joy. Relax. I won't. But I had the hardest time because I was just so cramped by holding on so tight, and she keeps saying, "Relax." But it was just such a wonderful experience because, and that's what she's going to share with you. And I'm just thrilled that you're here.
Thank you.
I think you're going to love this so very much. So, without further ado, we're just going to get you started.
Yes.
Yeah. And by the way, she is Hakumaui.
Hakumaui.
Yes.
Mahalo. Mwah.
Excellent.
Thank you. Mwah. Okay. Get up on the stage. All right. Aloha, everyone. Yes. Thank you so much for having me and for being here today. I do want to give a huge shout out to Allison with Grace Hawaii Flowers, our procurement manager. She made it happen with the flowers. So mahalo, yes. We're not late without this, so thank you. So my name is Britney. I have my partner here, Selena Bailey, and we are Haku Maui. We specialize in traditional Hawaiian lei and workshops just like this. When you support us and our business, along with a lot of businesses here in Hawaii, you really support our whole family. So it's always nice to think about that and really put that first with what we do. So we know that lei and flower crowns are a thing, right? People make them and wear them and don't really know where lei comes from or why it's so important to us in Hawaiian culture. When you wear a lei around your neck, it resembles the way a child would embrace their mother. And that's how much love goes into this. Lei for us can be seen as a sign of life, almost like an umbilical cord. It's an extension from one's self or place to the next person. So the next time you wear a lei or receive a lei, just take that moment into consideration. When you do make lei, your intention is very important. So we'll go through everything today, but what comes first is your ano and who you are as a person. Everything you do with lei shines through. We know that lei, with wedding celebrations, kind of taking it back to what we're doing here today, is a big deal, right? Every time we have a celebration, we have a reunion or things joining together, we want to celebrate with lei. And as we explain, it's a part of who we are. It's a way we show love and embrace and talk about the land and places that we're from and kind of connect it all together. So when you're making lei, you can kind of think about that. When you're working with your brides or with your wedding parties or any type of celebration, it's nice to kind of vola'au with them and see what they're going through in their life, where they're from, and how we can connect these flowers to a time and place. So it's very important to kind of take that back. Sometimes lei can be very simple. It can be, here we have our lokelani, which is the flower and color of Maui. We come from Maui, and it's a way to represent who we are. So this is a little bit more of a simple style of kui lei. So kui means to thread or to pierce. But we also have something a little bit more intricate. This is ohaiali'i and can be made with thousands of flowers, okay? So if any of you went on the tour yesterday to the nursery farms, they kind of talked about how long it takes to grow a flower. And we want people to understand that, right? So if you look at a lei, it could take years to have that one lei be ready to go with the flowers, okay? So just remember that when you're picking out your flowers, and also explaining to your customers, I feel like would be beneficial. The more we all know, right, the better. And then we also have this here. which is crown flower petals, or pua kalaunu. This was Queen Liliuokalani's favorite flower, and the monarch's as well. So this here also has hundreds of petals in it. So you can kind of see the intricacy. And then also the fragrant flowers. So this here is only in season during this time, and it's sort of going out of season, but we have pakalana. So anytime you see our favorite fragrant flowers like pikake, pakalana, it's just for the time. It's usually the hot summer months. We're so lucky to be here in Hilo. Maile, as you know, grows abundant here in the mountains, and we really want to kind of share the message about how much we cherish this lei here. I think sometimes it's our first go-to. We want to represent with Maile. We love this, but the more we use it, sometimes it can be harder and harder to gather. So there are other options that we can use, like tea leaf to make Maile and things like that, lauae, palapalai. So if you have any questions along the way, please ask me. I'm full of information, and I'm happy to help you, okay? All right, so we'll just get into it. We have an abundance of flowers in front of you, a lot of them from different farms here on Hawaii Island, some things we've gathered ourselves. One thing I want to talk about gathering is a certain protocol that we kind of go by. If you are ever going out to gather, you want to ask permission. If there's no one there, it doesn't mean you don't need to ask, but it's nice to kind of say something, because as we work with lei, we're working with the land and with these flowers as well. So everything that's meant to be will be, okay? So one of the things too with our foliage, for the fern, we have palapalai fern, which is a native Hawaiian plant. And then in front of that, we have tea leaf, strips of tea leaf. So tea leaf is a plant of protection in Hawaiian culture. We plant this outside of our homes, outside of our bedroom windows. We wrap our food in this. And in placing this in your lei, it's a protector for yourself as well. So I like to use lots of tea leaf, okay? And then for our base of our lei, which we'll be passing out after, we use banana leaf. So we grow and gather this ourselves. We pick this, prep it down to size for you. I don't know if you've been in Banana Patch before, but centipedes, cane spiders. Okay, so appreciate this. Thank you. We work very hard to get this ready for you, okay? On the end of your base, we have our twine. This is what we're going to use to tie the lei on at the end, so make sure that it doesn't become lost in the lei, okay? Make sure that these ends stay out. This type of lei can be worn on your head as lei po'o, or short around your neck as lei a'i. So you have two different options today, okay? So the style of lei making that we're doing today is called lei vili, and vili means to wrap. So we're going to be wrapping each piece of flower and foliage onto the base using the raffia here. I want you to use my lei as a guide. I'd like for you to use lots of greenery, lots of foliage, and flowers in between, okay? The more foliage, the better, in my opinion. The longer the lei will last, and the more your flowers are protected. A really good lei po'o can last almost 2 weeks, too, so sometimes I wear it, and then it lives on your hat after that, okay? So you have options. All right, so the first thing I do is I start with 5 pieces of tea leaf. When you look at the tea leaf, there is a shiny side and a dull side, okay? So in the beginning, it's hard to catch, but as you keep going, it gets easier and easier. So the first thing I do is pinch it in half vertically with the shiny side on the outside. So just fold it straight in half vertically. Place your first piece on your base, straight up and down. Pinch it with your thumb, and then use the raffia to wrap, okay? So we're going left, over to right, and back under, okay? One time, nice and tight. If you can go back and pull things out, it is too loose, okay? Your leg gonna fall apart. And I don't wanna see nothing on the floor, okay? So next to that, we have one more piece, shiny side on the outside, pinch it in half vertically, place it on your base, and now we're gonna start to angle it slightly. So we kind of wanna fan it out, okay, to create the tone for the width of your lei. Pinch it with your thumb, and then vili again, okay? Left over to right, and back under. Now with the third piece, we're going to start to alternate sides to angle to work our way down. I like this side to mirror this side. To me, it looks nice and uniform, okay? So grab your third piece, place it on your base, and now we're just going to flip it over the opposite way, okay? So sort of start to fan it out as you work your way down. Pinch it with your thumb, and then Vili again. Nice and tight, okay? So, have any of you made this type of lei before? Yes, yes, yeah, okay. No, we got plenty of no's over here. Okay, so if this is your first lei, they tend to be large, okay? So just keep this in mind. If you pinch your tea leaf all the way on the bottom and place it in your lei, it will be much, much bigger in size, okay? If you pinch your tea leaf further up and place it in your lei, it will be more small and petite. So up to you, okay? I always go somewhere in the middle is fine. And then alternate sides, angling even more. So what you're trying to do is create a little bed or a little pocket for your first row of flowers to sit in, okay? And then one more piece, angle the opposite way. Okay, everybody kind of got that, yeah? All right, so from here you can go straight to flowers, or you can use the fern as an accent. I highly recommend using this fern, okay? I want you to know that this is one of our most cherished ferns for lei making and in Hawaiian culture, so we're so fortunate to have this here, okay? So sometimes you might pick a piece like this and decide, okay, that's kind of way too big, yeah, for what we're going for, so please make it smaller, okay? So you can either pluck off pieces from the bottom to use in your lei, and sort of size it out. Or you can grab the piece and fold it in half. So create sort of a loop, pinch it together and place it in your lei like that, okay? And then Vili over the stem. So from here, we're ready for our first flower. Hey! Woo! Everybody up? Okay. All right, so when you're ready, you're going to grab your flower, place it on the base, so all of your stems will point down all the way down throughout your lei, okay? Pinch it with your thumb and then Vili over the stem, okay? Now, with these larger flowers, like the ginger, the cymbidiums, anthuriums in front of you, try not to angle them, okay? Because if you do angle these flowers, when you put your lei on, the flower gonna be in front of your face, you get unicorn, okay, so we don't want that. Nice and tight, wrap it straight, and wrap it twice, okay? So each row of flowers will have 1, 2, or 3 flowers, okay? No more than that. Otherwise, you're kind of making your way this way, and you're not making your way down, okay? So we have our first row of flowers here. We're gonna go back to the tea leaf, alternating sides, work your way down, create another little bed for your next set of flowers, okay? So we usually use about 6 pieces of tea leaf, and then back to the fern, and then back to the flowers, okay? Does anyone have any questions so far? No? Okay, great. Yes?
So when you did the flower, you wrapped Vili twice.
Yes, yeah.
But the leaf once.
Once. So just because this flower is a little bit bigger, you really twice just to make sure it's really tight in there. The smaller flowers like the orchids or bougainvillea, strawflower, you can just really one time. Yeah. Some people ask, can I use 3 flowers, put it on here and really one time? No. Okay. So my answer is no. You want to take your time with it. And the reason is if one of those flowers breaks in that group of 3, it will fall out and then there's a hole. The other 2 will fall out and it will just spiral throughout your lei. You really kind of want to take your time. When you look at the back of your lei, you want to see that each piece of raffia is sort of touching each other, no large gaps, okay? In Hawaiian culture with lei, the back is just as important as the front. When people come to Haku Maui and they're ma'a with lei, the first thing they do is look at the back. So for me, I want to be like, go ahead, look at the back, okay? All right. So some people like to plan out their lei, and some people like to just go for it. I highly recommend planning it out, okay? So for a few reasons. Say everyone on the table like the same exact flower, then you probably will run out of that, okay? Or say, I only want to use purple, pony is my favorite color. Boom, you get halfway, you run out of purple. Okay, so the best thing to do is as your base is laying there, you can drop a few flowers alongside so you have a general idea. For this size lei, you probably use between 20 to 30 flowers or more if you want. Okay, and the foliage is easiest with just a large handful next to you. So before we get started, I know we talked a little bit about lei in Hawaiian culture, okay, and what it means, but I cannot stress this enough. It is so important for you to take a second and think about you. Think about what you're going through in your life and visualize yourself in the most beautiful light. And as you weave your lei, all of who you are, your ano, becomes a part of your lei. I can almost see you in it, okay? When you wear this lei on your head or your po'o is your highest connection to the heavens and to your past ancestry as well. So when you place this lei on today, you're not only honoring yourself, but all of those who came before you, okay? Please keep that in mind with lei. Ever moving on, anytime you think of lei, I want you to think of that, okay? So if I'm walking around and I hear you go, oh, this is hard. Oh, mine's ugly. Okay, then this going to be hard and your lei going to be ugly, okay? If I hear any negativity, I will kindly pull you to the side, okay? All right. I do also want to introduce, we have Ikaika Texeira and David Bailey here who will be blessing you with mele. These are our husbands, came all the way from Maui. In this time, if you wanted to plan out your lei, you can go ahead and pick out your flowers that you want. Everybody be nice, okay? We also have some extra so we can bring them around. And please ask us anything. No question is wrong. We'll pass out the bases. And when you have to add your first raffia, let us know, okay?
Shine on, flower people. Kanani, Elue. Kaumaila ke ali yo Ika eu o nā manu o kanani elue kahi o paliuli Kaumaila ke ali yo Ika eu o nā manu o kanani elue kahi o paliuli Ua lohe paha i ka honi mai e o I ka pulaui o malio o kanani elue kahi o paliuli Ua lohe paha i ka honi mai e o I ka pulaui o malio o kanani elue kahi o paliuli Haina ia mai ka puana e o O ka mai ala le hua o aliuli o kanani elue kahi o paliuli Haina ia mai ka puana e o O ka mai ala le hua o aliuli o kanani elue kahi o paliuli O paliuli Mahalo to our beautiful hula dancer, Kale Kaumaka o ka ua noe anu hea. Ke ihola ka ua, hali hali na le hua moruna. here.
Everybody is doing so good. I'm completely blown away and impressed by the level of skill and time and talent that everyone has here. So you make this just as much special for me as it is for you. So mahalo. So all of these flowers, if you're traveling out of Hawaii, these flowers can travel through TSA. I don't know about out of US, but to the direct mainland, it will be fine. So for your lei, you never want to throw it away, okay? You have a few options. You can either hang it in your home to dry or preserve. We have a curtain rod where we keep all of our lei, and you can look back and remember your wedding day, the day we opened Haku Maui, all of these moments in our life. Or you can pass it on to the next person. You never know how much light you can bring someone by doing this very simple gesture. Or you can return it to the land and mahalo what your experience was. And in this way, because we use these natural materials, you're not leaving any type of rubbish behind. So for these lei, they're the freshest for the first 2 to 3 days, in my opinion. You can wrap it in a damp paper towel and place it in a full-size fridge. No mini fridge, okay? If you're staying here at the hotel, do not put it in there. It will freeze and turn black. So crank the AC up, wrap it in the paper towel, the damp paper towel, and make sure the air is hitting it, and it will be its freshest. That's actually what we had to do for our lei, and it looks fine. So just keep that in mind. And then after you refrigerate it for so long, maybe even a week or so, then you want to take it out and then begin the drying process for your lei or return to the land. Okay? If you are traveling with it, I recommend carry on. Don't put it in your checked bag. Okay, we want to make sure it's right here, right next to us. But if you have any questions about lei or Hawaiian culture or anything that we talked about today, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help you and kind of share this ike so you can travel on with your journey with lei. And just knowing this little bit more information will really help you in kind of sharing the message and understanding it a little bit more. Okay, thank you. Here.